Week 2 in Winnipeg saw the Tiger Cats dominate the Blue Bombers in all three phases of the game. Despite missing some key weapons this time around, Zach Collaros is looking to do it again at Tim Hortons Field, while the reigning CFL Player of the Week, Drew Willie, has revenge on his mind after being knocked out early in that first encounter. It's the final tilt of Week 7. Bombers, Ticats, next.
There he is, the Bombers QB, Drew Willie. Certainly did not look hurt last week against the Lions. He beat him with his arm and his legs, and his absence makes a huge difference on this Winnipeg team as it did against Hamilton in Week 2. And the Ticats aren't the same without number 4 in charge. Zach Collaros had a great one in Winnipeg back in Week 2. And in the Cats' home opener as well, Monday, 21 for 27, 3 touchdown passes, no picks against the Argos in that victory. That wrapped up Week 6. Today, we wrap up week number 7 at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. Welcome to the CFL on TSN, the Bombers and the Ticats. I'm Rod Smith, and here is the panel of Milt Stegall and Matt Dunnigan and Chris Schultz. Flashback to July the 2nd, the aforementioned week number 2, when Drew Willie got knocked out late in the first quarter, and on the very next play, Brandon Banks returned it for a touchdown on a punt, and that game just went off the rails for Winnipeg. Hamilton absolutely dominated. They won 52-26, Schultz. This time around, though, who knows? Could be a much different story. What are you watching for?
Well, more than anything else, Zach Collaros and Ken Austin are really starting to mesh as a head coach and a quarterback. It's the 21st game that these two have been together. And I'll throw in Tommy Condell also as the offensive coordinator, and it's starting to work. The Ticats lead the league in the fewest 2-and-outs, only 15 so far this season. That's one of those hidden statistics that is very relevant to successful football. And almost 60% of the time, Milt, when it is a second down, it turns into a first down. The offensive system between quarterback and coach is working.
Well, they say don't wake a sleeping giant, and in Brandon Banks' cases, don't wake a sleeping lollipop kid. Don't allow him to get going, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The last time he actually had a big return was against these Blue Bombers in Week 2 for that 68-yard punt return. Since then, his longest return has been 28 yards. He really hadn't done anything on offense. But we know when Brandon Banks gets going, it's difficult to stop. And if they allow him to get going, it's going to be difficult for them to win this game, Matt.
And on the Winnipeg offensive side of the football, a couple of big-time playmakers is Darvin Adams and Clarence Standmark. I really believe that a kid that draws in the lineup for the second week in a row, Justin Veltong, is a guy that's going to really balance that attack for Winnipeg and really opens up those guys even more to do their thing. Another playmaker, going to be huge to match the Hamilton Tiger Cats playmakers.
And bear this in mind, too, each of these teams has only one win out of first place. Yeah. Wow. With the Argos and Red Blacks winning, the Ticats trying to keep place. Hey, Winnipeg's at 3-3, and those two Alberta teams just 2 points ahead at 4-2. Can catch them with a win. Ticats fired up. They love Tim Hortons Field. They've never lost there. Trying to keep that string going. We'll have the call coming up from Rod Black.
It is a golden day in the horseshoe. Black and gold, blue and gold. Bombers, Ticats meet yet again. The conclusion of Week 7. If it's anything like the 3 games we've seen already, stand by for excitement.
Zach Collaros is 16-10 as a starter, but more importantly, 8-0 here at Tim Hortons Field. He has not lost. In fact, the only quarterback to win. 7 other starters have tried in those 8 games, including the playoff games. All walked away with losses. We'll see if Drew Willie can change that. Drew Willie, 11-16 as a starter. He's 2-2 against Collaros and gets the Hamilton Tiger Cats in his career, but 0-2 in their last 2.
Mike O'Shea back where it all began for him in Hamilton as a player. Said he used to love being at Iberwin. This is the first time he's coaching at Tim Hortons Field. Ken Austin, his team loving this place. 2 straight wins right now, and they're running hot. Here we go. The steam whistle kicked it off. We're ready to kick it off. Troy Stoudermeyer is back. Justin Medlock is going to launch us into this late Sunday afternoon game in the Hammer. Stoudermeyer from his 15. Spinning now, and Troy Stoudermeyer brings it up near the 30-yard line, where the resilient Drew Willie brings his offense out on the field.
And take a look at some of the starters to watch. The guys on the panel mentioned Justin Veltong. He's in there for Nick Moore in the receiver position. Going to take a look at Patrick Neufeld, who's going to play left guard up front. He's up against Ted Laurent, who's almost unblockable. Their number one receiver offensively for Winnipeg so far has been Darvin Adams, especially the last couple of weeks.
Darvin Adams coming off a big week last week. So too the Blue Bombers. A win against the BC Lions. They'll throw right away. Willie to Rory Colehurt. Colehurt hit hard. Hamilton says they have the football.
Officials disagree. They've marked it as a catch and down by contact. As the Bombers start to get Willie out on the edge and away from that pass rush right out of the gate. Rory Colehurt sits down, and was he down by contact before the ruling? Yes, that's what they're ruling, and first down, Bombers.
18-yard pickup. Colehurt did not play in the first meeting in week 2. Now Paris Cotton. They want to pick Cotton a little more in this game. Paris Cotton started off the season with a couple bangs, 2 big games, and then really has been muffled since that time.
Yeah, and remember the last time these two teams played, a blowout for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. That game, Drew Willie in the 3rd possession was knocked out. That blow to the head.
Collision from Adrian Tracy, who's not in this game. 2nd down and 5. Willie will throw over the top, and it's Darvin Adams. And he takes a hit. And there was a whistle. The ball was picked up. But Darvin Adams, they're going to rule that he was down. And Darvin Adams, who played with the Toronto Argonauts, is really having a breakout season with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Cat fans want to take a look and see if that ball came out before he was down by contact. The hit by Manuel Davis. Darvin Adams attacks it. Looks like he has it there. When his elbow hits the ground, he is down by contact. And a challenge flag from Kent Austin. He wants to take another look.
So Kent Austin, who's only challenged once so far this season, unsuccessful. Very interesting plays. He was upended.
Hamilton is challenging the ruling on the field of down by with contact. The play will be reviewed.
We welcome Andre Prue back. He's coming off the IL.
Yep, broken foot. First game officiating this year. Let's take another look. Darvin Adams attacks Emmanuel Davis in the open field.
Looks like the elbow may have been down.
If that elbow touched before the ball pops out and he loses possession, he's down by contact. And it looks like from those 2 angles, that's what happened. Maybe this will tell a different story.
Now the ball, he's got it, and boy, it's very close.
Upon review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball carrier's elbow hit the ground before the ball came loose. First down, Winnipeg.
So this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team will keep this drive going here.
Kent Austin was sure that he was standing right by that hit. Perfect vision of it. That's why he's a little unsure as to why. But there was no angle that showed he lost it before the elbow touched.
We welcome those of you watching the NASCAR race, everybody watching now across Canada. And it's picked! And Emmanuel Davis is going to do what he did the last time these teams met. He'll score a pick 6. Emmanuel Davis back in week 2 took one back, an interception. The whistle blows, and the secondary comes up big again. 65-yard pick 6 from Emmanuel Davis.
I thought that throw from Drew Willie was maybe tipped at the line of scrimmage. It just looked like the timing was off on the Willie throw. Let's take a look. Gets back, couple steps. It was on time, touched at the line of scrimmage. Right there is that Brian Hall who tips it up, and then Emmanuel Davis takes it to the house.
Emmanuel Davis is going to start liking playing against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The last time
after the play,
it was against Brian
objectionable
Braun.
conduct. Hamilton number 5. A 10-yard penalty will be applied from the 25-yard line for a 1-point convert.
We should explain the objectionable conduct. They threw the ball into the stands.
It's Winnipeg's ball.
It's Winnipeg's ball. It's offensive ball. Now, sometimes people would say, you know, you see a kid in the stands, it's a nice gesture, but you still have to take that penalty.
Well, Emmanuel Davis took that tip from Brian Hall, who gets the assist. Hall just...
Correction. Winnipeg wanted the penalty to be applied on the kickoff. The OC will be applied on the kickoff.
So they will boot this from the 32-yard line. The point after. Seen a lot more of this now. Not as many teams going for two. So Justin Medlock, who has been perfect on his converts so far this season. Emmanuel Davis takes it to the house. Former star from East Carolina. Justin Medlock, he has no problem with the 32-yard converts, obviously. Well, a quick one, quick strike for the Ticats. Thanks to ED. 65-yard TD. A 26th birthday? Unwrap a pick six.
With a pick six. The intended target was Clarence Denmark right there on the curl, but you're going to see Emmanuel Davis jumping after it's tipped at the line. The timing obviously off. If that ball is thrown with the spiral on time, it gets to Denmark, but it's tipped in the air. Davis takes it, and goodbye, he is gone. No one can catch him from behind. Great speed. A guy who worked his way on the roster last year, and they just couldn't keep him off the field.
Yeah, the birthday boy has the pick six again. Intercepted a Brian Braun pass back in Winnipeg in week 2, also for an interception return touchdown. Now, Studermeyer got his hand in the grill there on a straight arm. No penalty flag. And again, the Bomber offense, which was driving the football with some success, now has to come out on the field once again. Make amends for that last interception, Willie's 3rd of the season.
It's about having a short memory, getting back in there and just reloading the offense, because they had some success, moved the ball down the field, couple first downs before the pick.
Adams and Colhert are the wideouts. They'll give it to Paris Cotton. He goes left side around the edge. Simone Lawrence wraps him up, drops him.
Take a look at the front four. A couple of those guys up front, including Eric Norwood, who was all over the field against Toronto in his first game back, got a sack, but also was asked to cover backs out of the backfield in man-to-man. Ted Laurent, I mentioned, is almost unblockable, had a fumble recovery against Toronto. There's one change in the lineup. Mike Daly's playing safety for Craig Butler.
We'll see how that works out. Craig Butler, one of the best in the business. Willie on second down is in trouble. He's going down. Justin Hickman, Eric Norwood in the backfield.
Little stunt up front. Ted Laurent creates all kinds of damage going one way right here. And then right in behind him comes Justin Hickman, gets his first sack. Looking like he's going to drop, and then he turns and is right down Main Street on Drew Willie.
And a punt is blocked here. And it's all going wrong for the Blue Bombers right now. Hamilton has the football again. Lirim Hajrullahu kick is blocked, and Arnaud Gascon-Nedon, the former star from Laval, picks it up, and Hamilton.
No yards. Winnipeg, number 39. This is a 15-yard penalty. First down.
Is going to get great field position almost near the red zone.
Gascon-Nedon comes up. This is special teams making another big play for Hamilton. Remember last week against Toronto, the onside kick to Brandon Stewart got things going on the teams, and Jeff Reinbold's group does it again.
Gascon-Nedon plays a lot on special teams, also a backup D lineman. So Zach Collaros, pump fake, goes for it, look out, and it's a touchdown. Hamilton strikes quickly again. Bakari Grant having an outstanding season. Takes it to the house. That's his 4th major already.
Well, I think it's safe to say the Hamilton Tiger Cats have the crowd here at Tim Hortons Field engaged. I mean, they are boisterous at this point. Why wouldn't they be? Just all over this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team after the interception by Emmanuel Davis, a block punt. Bakari Grant 1 play later, and just like that, Hamilton looking at a 14-point lead with the convert to come.
Grant had a big game against Winnipeg in week 2, 117 yards and a touchdown.
I know, I thought you got it.
That's the first time on a first drive for Hamilton that they've scored this season. And it wasn't much of a drive. They basically started in the score zone. And already they put up 14 points here. And we've only played 5 minutes. The Blue Bombers have a lot of work to do here. The Cats come out roaring. Collaros to Grant. We're getting used to saying that in 2015.
4th receiving touchdown for Bakari Grant. A combination route to the wide side of the field for Zach Collaros. Lots of options. He's got the post from the outside. Here's Grant here. He's going to just run the wheel. He's got a swing out in the backfield and then the curl up front. Combination routes. 4 players out to the wide side, to the left side of the field. In the middle, that's his strong side. And you see down at the bottom corner of your screen, Bakari Grant wide open.
Bakari Grant, pair of touchdowns. Holiday Monday against the Argos, now one here today. Cats continue to take it to the Blue Bombers so far this season. Look at this, it's live. Balls all over the place. The only player that could get that though was Medlock, but it bounced off of the Blue Bombers. And once again, trouble for Winnipeg.
Jay Lang is going to recover that. Backup linebacker. Now the team's contributing twice. It's just bounces and bounces right back towards Hamilton. Once that ball travels 10 yards, it's a live ball on the kickoff.
Well, the special teams have been special for Hamilton. An onside kick on Monday that resulted in a touchdown.
It's a goal. Representing, let's go, baby.
And Hamilton right back at it offensively. Zach Collaros pulls it back, knocked out of bounds by DeMond Washington. When it rains, it pours, and it can pour even on a sunny day.
2 starters out of the lineup for the Hamilton Tiger Cats for this one tonight. No Andy Fantus, no CJ Gable. It'll be Ray Hawley replacing him. We've already seen Bakari Grant. They're going to lean on him with Fantus out of the lineup. And last week in his first game, Luke Tasker was targeted 7 times and made all 7 catches.
2nd down and 3. He'll pitch it out to Brandon Banks. Swallowed up by Zach Anderson, but it's a first down again for the Cats. Bring it inside the 15-yard line.
We'll take a look at some of the leaders for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers so far this year on defense. Johnny Adams, 3 interceptions. That's tied for first in the CFL. Khalil Bass leads the team with tackles for 29, and Jamal Westerman off the edge, 3 sacks. That leads his team. And it's been coming on strong in the last couple of games, but this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team needs to stop right now.
They need something.
Hold Hamilton to a field goal here and try and get a little momentum out of this.
Claw back in. What a nightmarish start. Bombers load up the box here. Tight formation as they pitch it out again to Ray Hawley. Hawley bowls his way past the 10-yard line. Has maybe half the first down yardage. Ray Hawley filling in for CJ Gable, who is out of the lineup as Glenn mentioned. Hawley's had to play sporadically this season. When he's been in, he's been good.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech started the season with C.J. Gable hurt for the first 3 games. Then he's had a break. He should have fresh legs. Gable on the 6th game and maybe longer.
Second down, 5 yards to go. They might go for end zone, though. They will go for end zone. And they'll score a touchdown. Are you kidding me? Ryan Bombin. There's a page from the Montreal Alouettes playbook. This is not the first time Bombin's been in the end zone, by the way.
No. Tight end set. Bombin's outside. He's just going to come and release. One little slide step like he's going to block. Khalil Bass thinks he's going to try and pass protect, which he normally does, and has to make an athletic catch over the shoulder.
Well, he told us after the one that he had in Montreal how he had to do that a little bit in college and in high school, and of course as an O-lineman now, played with the Alouettes. Years protecting Anthony Calvillo, and then last season, then came over in this offseason. Former Guelph Griffin has his first touchdown really back home. Medlock, can you believe this start for the Hamilton Tiger Cats? It can't get any better, and it can't get worse for the Blue Bombers. 21-zip.
Well, he sells it here, and he's on Khalil Bass at that tight end spot. He's going to come in like he's going to block and then release. Watch 47, who's supposed to be covering him out of the backfield, react. He steps up like he's going to try and beat him on the block. Now stop it here. Look at here. Khalil Bass is going, what happened to my guy? The tight end was right in front of me. Now I got to find him. He can't find him. He's already in the end zone. And an over-the-shoulder catch for Ryan Bombin.
I don't know if there's a record for 3 quickest scores to open a game. I don't know how much quicker you can do it than the Hamilton Tiger Cats have here.
Yeah, when you've dug yourself a hole quickly and this deep, like Winnipeg, the first thing you've got to do is stop digging. And that means that kickoff, you saw Stoudemire there go right underneath it, no messing around. Now it's almost like unfortunate on the tip for Drew Willie on the first score from Emmanuel Davis, but since then they've been reeling.
Drew Willie, play action, and he's sacked again by Justin Hickman. Blue Bombers went out, revamped their O-line this season to keep Drew Willie upright. So far in this game, he's already been sacked twice.
They wanted Darvin Adams out of the backfield. He's picked up in coverage. Rico Murray jumps him, and that gives Hickman a chance to get to Drew Willie. He pump fakes once and then can't reload it and get it out there to Darvin Adams because he's well covered.
It's a way to get on the board for Justin Hickman this season. Couple sacks already, 2nd and 14. They are bringing it. Big catch made up near the 40. Clarence Denmark. Right now, Drew Willie is under siege.
He gets hit after the throw here. It looks like Brian Hall gets up the field.
He's coming out of the game as well, and this is all the Blue Bombers need. Remember the last time they played, he got knocked out when he was hit in the helmet by Adrian Tracy. It's like he's hurt his thumb or hand. Matthew Shinetti is with us on the sideline. We'll try to get an update.
Well, they get a good push in the middle.
And it looks like it's not going to be for long, so good news for Bomber fans. Willie comes right back out.
Take another look. There's Hall there, and he gets a push. Hickman on the stunt from left to right down the middle. It's Hickman that actually gets the hit. Hall in the backfield as well. It looked like it might have just given Drew Willie a stinger for a second.
2nd down and 4. Sold out Tim Hortons Field.
They're cranking it up.
Willie again goes over the top and an overthrow. This is what happened in week 2. Blue Bombers lost Drew Willie after this hit from Adrian Tracy.
Adrian Tracy with the hits, not in the lineup for Hamilton. He's on the injured list, but that was the 3rd possession of the game, and it went sideways. Brandon Banks returned a kick, and from then on, it was all Hamilton. I want to keep Willie in here, and that at least they're going to be able to punt it, make Collaros drive the field.
But guess who's back? Brandon Banks. This time they're all over him. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats will scrimmage from their 25-yard line. Under 5 to go, first quarter. Mike O'Shea's team reeling right now, down 21-0. To you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Beautiful sunny August day here in Hamilton, and it's been a beautiful day so far for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
And there's that tip right into the hands of Davis. He scores on the pick 6. 4th defensive touchdown this season, 3 against the Bombers, and Bakari Grant on the special teams play. And another team's turnover is capped off by a Ryan Bombin touchdown, what you don't say very often. Last time was 2012.
Yeah, he caught it from another pretty good quarterback, Anthony Calvillo.
Yeah, okay.
So he's got 2 touchdowns in his career. Not bad for an old lineman. Over the top they go. Matt Coates, local kid. Make that Junior Collins who made the catch. Matt Coates is in the lineup. Junior Collins also in the lineup today. Keep in mind, Van Toos is gone, as Suits mentioned earlier. So they've got a bit of a patchwork receiving core. 15 yards on that pass to Collins. Handing it off, going up the middle.
Just got the Bombers on their heels. I mean, not only on the scoreboard, but play calling. Back there, Collaros goes to tempo. He gets Junior Collins involved on the post, and then gets good yards from Ray Hawley on first down.
Collins, who's only played the last 2 games, now has 5 catches already for the Cats. Lots of motion here. Tasker in motion. 2nd and 5. And then Terrence Tolliver hauls it in, but he's going to be short of a first down. So finally something positive for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and the spark is ignited by their defense.
Chris Randall, if the Bombers come back, if they can come back and win this game, this play may be one that you look back on, because they desperately needed a stop just to, as I mentioned, stop digging the hole. And maybe that tackle by Chris Randall will be the start of it. You just settle in a little bit.
Tolliver, first-year receiver for the Cats out of Louisiana State. Spent some time in the NFL. Is all right. He's on the sideline now. By the way, the Cats won the coin flip, which could be significant later in the ball game. The wind is up here, and it blows from left to right on your screen. They defer to the second half. Blue Bombers with the wind right now, but you'd never know it. Studermeyer, penalty flag flies. Could only step out of bounds.
Studermeyer is hustling to those kicks now after that kickoff bounced in front of him. Recovered by Hamilton.
First and 10. Drew Willie and the Bombers from their 41. 3 minutes to go, first quarter. Here come the Cats again. Hit screen. Once again out to Studermeyer. Stays in.
Eric Harris providing the pressure off the edge. Drew Willie threw it around that pressure, but the Ticats rally. The Ticats don't really have a tackler in the top 20.
Yeah, they're kind of by committee, aren't they?
Yeah, they take turns making plays. We've seen Brian Hall make one. Emmanuel Davis. That was Eric Harris.
2nd and 8. Willie out pattern for Adams. First down. So the Blue Bombers trying to silence this stadium as Adams makes the catch. Keep in mind they had a good drive going in that first possession, and then Davis took it back for 6.
Yeah, Drew Willie is making a reputation of this. So he's taken a hit, had to leave for a play, came back in, went on his own. The trainers didn't come out, so he didn't have to sit out 3 plays. But he's starting to bounce back. Good first down there.
3 receivers to his left. That's where he's looking, and has Adams again. And Darvin Adams, again, very sparingly was he used down the road in Toronto, had some injury issues, then ended up in Winnipeg. The former Auburn Tiger who used to catch footballs from Cam Newton at one time.
Well, they're lining him up, Rod, here inside at tight end almost, and then just pushing him out there. And another way to get Darvin Adams, their leading receiver, coming in. Remember, no Nick Moore for Winnipeg.
2nd down and 3. Make that first down. It is a first down for.
That's what I mean about Drew Willie, though. When you think about how this game has started, he gets that pick 6 out of the gate. Had to leave for a play with the hit. Been reeling with some special teams and down 21-0, yet he's going back to work, back to that play card. A couple of first downs, try and settle his team in. Marcel Belfay, their offensive coordinator's just got to put a couple first downs together, chip away with even a field goal.
2nd down and 7, final minute, first frame. Look out blindside. Willie decides to take it, and he's hit hard by Simone Lawrence. Willie didn't like it. But I'll tell you what, he was open game out there, and Drew Willie, who had 72 rushing yards last week in the win against the BC Lions.
That's a career high for him, and Simone Lawrence with a clean hit here. Willie does not try to slide. But it's nice clean hit.
You're getting out there, doesn't matter who you are. You got a bullseye on you. 1st and 10, final play, first quarter. Paris Cotton should have had that. Lawrence was pursuing, but Paris Cotton slow to get up.
I talked to.
It looks like he may have hurt his hand as well.
Yeah, that's wrist.
That doesn't look good. Paris Cotton there.
You know,
feature back.
I talked to Mike O'Shea before the game about where Willie was throwing it. He went the wrong direction, looked like Cotton.
Cotton going to the sideline. Blue Bombers trying to get some points on the board here. Desperate, down 21-0 after 1 quarter here in Hamilton. Tiger Cats right out of the gate, 21-0, a pick 6 that opened the floodgates. See the numbers pretty similar actually in so many ways, but the turnover is a key, and obviously the quick strike Hamilton Tiger Cats. So the big question I have for you, Glenn Suter, is how do you come back from a 21-0 deficit first quarter?
First thing you do is you don't panic, and that's what Drew Willie showed you in this drive. He's still in 2nd down, so they're still trying to put this drive together, come up with a major. Now it's a 2-possession game, and you've got lots of football in front of you. You just basically don't panic here. They may lose Paris Cotton. He's being attended to on the sideline after that last play. We'll take a look at how he got hurt. Fell awkwardly back on the football. He went down. Got hit from Simone Lawrence, and the arm got caught underneath.
Second quarter underway. 2nd and 10. Willie stays in the pocket, fires to Adams again. And based on what we've seen of Darvin Adams over the last 3 weeks, how are people missing on this guy? And now Darvin Adams is down. That could be a big blow for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, already without one of their best possession receivers, Nick Moore, who's missing his second game.
Willie has to step up in the pocket here. It started to collapse around him, but he does get it out to Darvin Adams. Let's see what happened to him. Donald Washington's played better every game out, starting on that corner position.
Adams, who came into this week fourth in the CFL in yards after catch, couldn't get enough yards to get the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and a long yard, 3rd and 1.
Well, he has been coming on, Darvin Adams. You mentioned his last couple of games versus BC, 4 for 127. A couple weeks ago versus Calgary, 5 for 121. 280 yards in his last 3 games. Can ill afford to lose him, especially after Paris Cotton been knocked out. It's been a 7-play drive for Drew Willie, exactly what this offense needed.
So they're bringing out the big bodies.
They're leaving him in there. 3rd down.
Looks like it's 3rd string quarterback Robert Marv who will go behind center. 3rd down and 1. They have to get to the 25-yard line. Marv.
Throw. Oh, they did get to him.
And they just got that. You can see where the spot is. It is a 1st down.
Well, they got me on the play action there.
Got a few people, I think, but they used power back Cameron Marshall.
Yeah, they did. That was a nice play fake by Marv to keep his hands together and shield it, looking like he was carrying the ball, and that got a good push up front. And they keep the drive rolling. Now 8 plays, 44 yards.
Well, you said it. Chip away. Find a way back. Twin back set. Quick hitter knocked down. And off the edge, it's Mike Daly coming in on the safety blitz, who batted that down. The former McMaster Marauder playing for Craig Butler today.
Craig Butler's injured. Now, Daly takes a bit of a gamble here, a bit of a chance, because he comes off the edge. When you do that and you decide to jump, if Willie pump fakes you and goes around you, now you've lost the edge, but the gamble pays off that time.
2nd down again. Here's the rush. Willie's sacked again. Ted Laurent reels him in.
They give you so many different looks. Ted Laurent, right in the middle of your screen, working in tandem with Hickman, and he's got a little bit of Taylor Reed coming there, and the offensive line for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers just can't handle Laurent.
And it knocks them out of field goal range. Liram Hairolahu has been the best in the CFL at hunting inside the 20 and 10-yard line. That's about the only highlight so far for the Blue Bombers, as this sack means they can't go for 3. 3 sacks so far for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Tiger Cats, time now for the GMC Sierra Coaches Playbook with Paul LaPolice. Coach?
Suits was talking about it just before the break, that Hamilton brings pressure from so many different spots, and that's what you're seeing. They got pressure on a number of spots, sometimes with a 4-man rush. This is a picture I saw last week against the Toronto Arctic. Watch what's happening. The line declares, this is our player, this is what he got to do. Then the whole thing changes. So now the line has to change and the back has to adjust. The back doesn't recognize it. 2 guys block 1 guy. You have a free player to the quarterback. That's what the Ticats do so well defensively. Bring a lot of different looks.
All right, thank you, Paul LaPolice. Right now, the Blue Bombers have to do that because they're down 21, and the Tiger Cats have a long field. Ray Hawley out of the backfield from Collaros.
And that blitz that Coach just showed you was from the corner. That's Hamilton. Donald Washington got a sack against Toronto's Trevor Harris there. Zach Collaros got a manageable situation here in second and medium.
The 27-year-old out of Steubenville, Ohio, the former Cincinnati Bearcat. Has not lost, nor has his team in this stadium. Look at this motion. Jailbreak. Brandon Banks first down. Can you actually do X's and O's on all that, or is that possible? Do you have enough highlights on your telestrator?
Well, I want to say it was Jeremy Lewis, the right tackle here, that's going to come out and lead on this block, and he's the guy who's going to help out and get Brandon Banks at the point of attack there, right there, as he chips off Khalil Bass. Gets Brandon Banks another 4 or 5 yards. In for Joel Figueroa. Second game in a row for Jeremy Lewis at right tackle.
Collaros back to pass again, has time, decides to go deep, looking for Brandon Banks. Watched closely by Johnny Adams as Zach Collaros went slinging.
But well covered. I mean, Johnny Adams was in the outside third here. Collaros is just going to take a shot, and he doesn't have his tallest receiver down there in Brandon Banks. He's got one of his best playmakers, but not a guy who's got that long reach. Well covered by Johnny Adams. 3 interceptions, tied for the CFL League for number 20 out of Michigan State.
Including one that went back for a touchdown against Montreal. Here comes the rush. Collaros on the roll. Lets it go. Completed pass. And once again, it's Junior Collins. Jasper Collins Jr. The Mount Union in Ohio has another catch, his second of the day. Big gainer.
I think it's Johnson that's going to come up the middle, and watch Collaros get outside. He feels the pressure down Main Street here, and he's just going to bounce it. He did that and single-handedly broke down the Toronto defense a week ago.
Cats very proficient at second down now. A little bit of a corner route. Once again, looking for Collins, but this is where the Tiger Cats have been better than anybody in the CFL coming into week 7. Is on second down. Almost 60% conversion rate.
Well, Collaros is so well prepared now. Kent Austin obviously loving the progression of his quarterback. Kent Austin says your quarterback needs to have 3 qualities. He needs to be accurate. He needs to make quick decisions and the right decisions. And he needs to be mentally and physically tough. Collaros gets a check mark in all 3 categories.
Pretty good check marks there too. 6 of 8. Here is the second down conversion attempt. And they've done it again. And when you got guys going up for the football like Bakari Grant, that'll increase the percentage.
Bakari Grant's well covered here, and he wins the play. He's going to run this dig route. Dig route meaning going straight down the field about 12 yards and then cut right across the middle at a 90-degree angle, and he just wins the battle.
Almost at the midfield stripe. Another quick and whoa. Wow, that was so close for that Winnipeg defense. That's hometown guy Matt Buckner coming back to Hamilton, former Cat, traded last year. Talked to him yesterday, said he has a lot of family and friends, and I said, you know, who are they cheering for? I mean, this is, you know, Ticat Town. This is Tabby Town. He says, well, you know, you'll see my mom. She's got a Bomber jersey on.
Well, Mom must have got out of her chair there, because Buckner that close to his first pick, and if he catches it, he's still running. They're playing the fight song in Winnipeg.
Another second down conversion here. Collaros has loads of time. Now some pressure. Now he throws. And a low toss on the far side, looking for Luke Tasker. His second game of the season. Missed the first 4 with injury. 7-catch week last week. But now the Tiger Cats will have to bring out their kick team.
Contain, so important when you're playing against Zach Collaros defensively. You've got to make sure you've got a contain man. Either a linebacker coming around or defensive end. Could be a stunt from a defensive tackle.
How about this formation as Hugh O'Neill now comes into the frame. And will boot it away, and the Blue Bombers converging. Great kick. What a kick by Hugh O'Neill. Just the second time this season he's been able to direction that kick into the 5-yard line. Good directional kicking by Hugh O'Neill. Great first half for the Cats. Right now, not only that, long odds without two key personnel. Let's go down to Matthew Shinetti.
Absolutely, Rob. Paris Cotton is out of the game. He came to the sidelines. The medical staff looked at his left wrist. Ticats staff actually came over as well to talk to them. Short time later, he went to the locker room, followed close by Darvin Adams. Their medical staff, the Bombers, I should say, was checking out his back and his chest. He slowly walked to the locker room. The Ticats aren't without their own injury concerns. I learned before the game that could be 2 or 3 months before we see C.J. Gable and Andy Fantuz. They both get their casts off Tuesday and will be evaluated further. Guys?
Again, thank you, Matthew. They were lost with injury their last game, but the Blue Bombers without Cotton now and without Darvin Adams. So tough sledding, even tougher right now. C.J. Gable and Fantuz again out of the lineup. But for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, they're getting used to that. There are times, including last season, when they didn't have Fantuz for long stretches,
Winnipeg
nor
number 1.
Gable.
Half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
Yeah, they've learned how to manage that. And Cameron Marshall, you look at Kent Austin, has managed without C.J. Gable at times. Obviously, would rather have those two stars in there. And Andy Fantuz, similar situation for him last year. Didn't play all 18, but they've been working Cameron Marshall in the last couple of weeks in the backfield in Winnipeg, so they're also getting used to mixing it up.
There is Marshall. Taylor Reed and Justin Hickman in on the tackle. So it's going to be second down. How about this? If the Cats can stop the Blue Bombers here, Iralahu is going to be in his end zone to kick this out. You know he's going to be near the 45-yard line, and the Cats are with the wind in this quarter. So this is a big play for Winnipeg.
Officials are all the way to the sideline talking to Kent Austin. Get something sorted out here. There's Andre Proulx has even whistled this play in yet. There he's back in.
Apparently someone may have a whistle in the end zone. They're hearing that. What we're hearing from the sideline.
And that's exactly what they're looking for.
And they are calling for security to remove the whistleblower. They're looking for the whistle. Blue Bombers looking for a first down. Here comes the rush again. Willie scampers now. Throws, and on the sideline is Rory Colhart. That was a huge play for the Blue Bombers.
Starts because Drew Willie takes a little page out of the Zach Collaros book, and he gets outside of pressure. It was just a 4-man rush, but it fooled the Bombers up front because of the disguised blitz. But Willie gets outside of that pressure. Now he's got lots of room and lots of choices. Colhart right near the sideline. And you're right, Rod, it gives him some breathing room. Big play.
Yeah, they may have had to give up another 2 points on his safety. I don't think you want to kick it to Banks in that situation or get Hamilton good field position. So Willie back in the pocket. Nice catch. Studermeyer is going to get some more playing time at receiver as well with Darvin Adams out of this ball game. They are plugging and playing right now. We have unlocked the mystery. The whistle, the mysterious whistle, has been found and confiscated. We'll have no more of that. 2nd and 6. Cats loaded up. Here they come. Down he goes. Eric Norwood off the edge. Make it 4 Hamilton sacks.
You see left tackle Stanley Bryant looks inside, and this is what Coach was talking about. This is Norwood around the edge, but that left tackle in Stanley Bryant, he thinks a blitz is coming. He's got to slide in to protect, so he takes Hall. Now there's no one to block Norwood on the edge.
Blue Bombers last in the CFL. They give up more sacks than any other team and have given up 4 already today. Brandon Banks now as Hiralahu was coming in, and there's a penalty flag. Banks is dragged down, but there's a no yards call.
That'll be picked up.
It'll be picked up because Hiralahu was the player who came in. Another sack here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 4 on the day. Sack videos on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook using the hashtag #MarksFanCam. You could be featured on the CFL on TSN. Hashtag #MarksFanCam. A lot of fans out and a beautiful day. Southern Ontario, blue skies, winds blowing a little bit.
Another sellout, Tim Hortons Field.
What magic this team has here. Took them a while to get here. Of course, Labor Day last year, they have not lost in their home turf. Colares, and the ball's picked up by Bombin, but they're going to say it's an incomplete pass. Just barely, as Bass came flying in to take that away from Bakari Grant.
I'm sure Khalil's dad, Kevin, is watching. Heard you guys talk about that in one of the previous games for the Bombers. And boy, he is just getting better every single game. Khalil Bass, 29 tackles, 6 in the CFL coming in this week.
His dad, Kevin, goes to all his games. He's only missed a couple this season. He's here today in Hamilton, made the road trip. There goes Colares. He's got Tolliver. He's got a touchdown. Bombs away. 58-yard touchdown strike. Terrence Tolliver has his 3rd of the season. The whistle's blowing, and the Ticats right now are blowing out the Blue Bombers.
Not a penalty for Zach Colares to throw their football up into the stands at their home field. And another big-time throw. Great protection for Zach Colares up front. He has a chance to sit back there, take a step up, throwing lane, up over the top from the wide side of the field to Tolliver. His 3rd on the season.
Matt Buckner, the former Cat, victimized. Former LSU star.
Calm, stay confident.
What a season he's had for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Medlock again for his 4th convert of the day. 17 for 17 this season from 32 yards out.
Terrence Tolliver comes out of the backfield on this way, and he's going to run the wide side post. Comes out here, and then he's going to run this post. Now, Maurice Leggett right here's the safety. Oftentimes, he'll be back in the middle to help out. Go ahead and run it, guys, but Leggett is asked to cover in this case. He's going to play that deep inside corner. Now, he jumps that out, and it doesn't look like he should be, because it appears that Matt Buckner thought he had middle help, safety help in the middle, and Tolliver just runs away from him. But a play like that, Rod, you need time for it to develop, and the big boys up front gave Zach Colares that kind of time. Dropped back there, stepped up, and he launches it.
Yeah, you see that? The crowd went,
That depth of the inside route, that pulled Maurice Leggett from the safety spot.
Well, an early season theme for the Tiger Cats when they play the Blue Bombers is that they have been laying the wood to Winnipeg. 52-26 in week 2. 28-0 in quarter 2 in week 7. And that big hill the Blue Bombers have to climb is now a mountain. Studemeyer Pretty good return up near the 38-yard line. So we're getting close to week 8 in the Canadian Football League. Edmonton Eskimos, Montreal Alouettes. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Probably two teams that will come in a little angrier this week. Eskimos losing to BC, Montreal losing to Ottawa. Boy, parity and balance seem to be the key words this season in the CFL.
4 wins for Toronto, 4 wins for Ottawa. Hamilton looking to try and get their 4th.
Drew Willie. Play action again. Clarence Denmark did not have a reception against Hamilton in week 2.
Well, it's got to get him involved more if they can somehow. I mean, last couple of games, he's targeted 13 times, only come up with 6 of those catches. Now, trying to get him the football, trying to get him to make those big plays for him like he's capable.
Almost every play, the Cats are bringing pressure. Here it comes again. Good job by the O-line, Justin Veltun. That ball thrown incomplete.
But looked like Veltun lost it. They're going to send the safety this time. Wendell Steinhauer sends Mike Daly, who's limping a little bit, back to the huddle, but he comes right down and comes through that middle A-gap, the safety blitz. Times it up nicely. They'll roll away from that, basically slide protected, meaning everyone slides to their right, picks up a gap. Drew Willie just missed the throw.
Second down, out of the backfield's Marshall. They're going to have to get this guy going. They have no Paris Cotton for the rest of this one, it looks like, and so Cameron Marshall romps over the 50-yard line and has a first down. There's a penalty flag, and it looks like it might be against the Blue Bombers.
Marshall had first down territory too, and on a screen play, you don't want a holding call because the
illegal block, ends to the face, Winnipeg number 68, 10-yard penalty, will repeat second down.
Don't want that call either. I mean, you're talking about a screen play where the job of the offensive line is to just hit their guy and then release them, let them get after the quarterback so the D-line gets behind the running back in Marshall. Play was executed well, but one of those offensive linemen got the hands up in the face.
So this time it's second down and 20 yards to go. Blue Bombers down 28 points.
Picard.
Willie buried again. That's 5 sacks now.
Norwood's going to get the sack. I love the push from Ted Laurent in the middle. If you can push the O-line back here like that, those edge players, then they have a chance to get up there and collapse it down from the edges. And Ted Laurent takes the double team. He pushes that double team back. Just no throwing lane for Drew Willie.
Brandon Banks juggles. Now gets outside. Still outside. Brandon Banks now cuts the corner. Just ran 60 yards. Maybe picked up 10. They love this guy in Hamilton. They've got to love their Ticats right now. 28-0. 3-minute warning before halftime.
For the half, 3 minutes away. The last time they met, the Ticats dominated on defense, on special teams, and eventually on offense as well, and it's all happening again. Let's see what else is in store as we get closer to halftime. Back to Rod and Glenn.
Thank you so much, Rod Smith. Yes, deja vu for Winnipeg. Kolaris goes over the top. Tolliver again. Good one-on-one on the sideline with Johnny Adams.
These deep throws, though, are going to push Winnipeg back, and then you start to maybe get out of that press position. As soon as he saw the press, I'm talking about Zach Collaros, saw the press from Johnny Adams, he wanted to throw that fade. That's an automatic quarterback-receiver communication.
Collaros now communicating a recheck here, changes the play. in the shadows. Now a pump fake, goes over the top. He's got his man. It's Bakari Grant, and down the sideline he goes. How about that recognition from Zach Collaros?
Well, it was recognition in a couple of ways, Ron, because he couldn't throw it when he wanted to. This was the route here, and Collaros sees that Bakari Grant is covered initially. So he runs through there, he gets picked up and covered, and then he has to pump fake and throw it up over him.
Ray Hawley wrapped up. Khalil Bass.
That's Zach Collaros when you talk about decision making, accuracy, and sometimes paying the price to complete that throw. He had to wait an extra second.
Hamilton, number 50, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
So the penalty flag, one thing Kent Austin wanted to clean up this week, penalties. Hamilton on a record pace, CFL record pace with so many penalties in the early season, doing pretty well here today.
Yeah, right at the point of attack, grabbed the jersey. As Hawley was trying to break outside there on Jamal Westerman.
He's going to send out 5 receivers, keep Hawley in to block, and then uses him for a little bubble screen here.
Great redirect by Sam Hurl. Hurl's he's coming on a stunt on this defense. He wants to get in the middle. I talked to Mike O'Shea, and he pointed out Sam Hurl's play to me. He said, Sam Hurl, it doesn't get a lot of the big fancy stats like sacks, things like that, but this guy is really playing well, and he's sometimes taken blocks up for other people to make the big plays like Khalil Bass, but he redirected on that blitz there and made the tackle from behind.
Anthony Woodson, the former Bomber who made that catch, to his second game with the Cats. Collaros, look at the time he's got. There's Hawley. Big collision with Bass. He'll get to the original line of scrimmage, a little bit beyond that. It'll be third down now, and Justin Medlock will come out and attempt a field goal.
It's the end of this play, interesting, where Hawley decides to take on Khalil Bass. Good football play by both players.
Well, the sure-footed Justin Medlock, career 87% kicker, 87.5 this season, 14 of 16, 35-yard line. Matt Coates, the holder, puts it down. Medlock puts it through. 31 points right now in the first half for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, but the most significant number is that goose egg beside the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, I mean, Michael O'Shea still has a whole half of football ahead of him. He goes in at halftime now, doesn't make some adjustments, try to get Drew Willie some more time, try and figure out a couple of these stunts coming from the Hamilton Tiger Cats, how to block Ted Laurent, how to block Eric Norwood. Both been very active so far tonight.
Well, they have a minute and a half to try to get on the board, get some positive energy before halftime.
You could say, you know, at some point Drew Willie might have to take some shots deep. However, to do that, as I mentioned with the Zach Collaros throw to Tolliver, you need time. You need time back in the pocket and that throwing lane to step up and throw the deep ball.
Chris Bastian with that last catch. Out of Concordia, 2nd and 5. Willie just got it away, but it's incomplete. Trying to thread the needle, looking for Clarence Denmark and Eric Norwood. Right now, the Tiger Cats are feasting on that Winnipeg O-line.
See how they show players in here? I mean, this Hamilton shows a player. There's Norwood outside to the left of the formation. Hickman down at the bottom. They show, and then Taylor Reed comes out. So now they're blocking up front for the offensive line. Dominic Picard's trying to point out who to block.
Ira Lahu sends Brandon Banks back into the sunshine. Looks for a couple blocks. 50 seconds remain before halftime.
Meanwhile, Zach Collaros just keeps putting up the numbers. The last time these two teams played in July, 28 first downs. Now in that game, again, Drew Willie was knocked out in the third possession. So had he been in the game, there would have been a little more time of possession for the Bombers. But Collaros with 28 first downs, 448 net yards, and almost 400 yards passing. He's rolling again.
Tell you what, doesn't look like they're too conservative either. They want to put some more points on the board here. Look at this. Collaros now. He goes down. Jamal Westerman with the sack. First for the Blue Bombers of the afternoon.
Fourth for him. 19 tackles as well. So this is Westerman who led the team in sacks coming in with 3. That's his 4th on the season, but he also leads the D-line in tackles. So he's an active player. Keeps working on that one. Something positive for this defense. They go in at halftime.
5-1 sacks. That's only the first half, folks. Collaros now down again. Back-to-back sacks. Damon Washington blitzes in, brings down Zach Collaros.
He's going to just chase down from the top, Damon Washington. Show Khalil Bass in there, so overload the right side. The defense, left side of the offensive line for Hamilton. Collaros back-to-back sacks.
So the Tiger Cats are slow to get out here. Hugh O'Neill
just running down the clock.
They'll run it all the way down. And he'll run out the first half. Well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers back in week 2 were down by 25. Coming into this one, they didn't think it could get any worse. It is. They're down 31-0 at the half. As we send it back to Rod Smith and the guys in the studio.
Thank you, Rod. You got it. In week 2, it was 52-26 final. It was hard to imagine any more dominance, even though the Ticats are at home, and Drew Willie is in this entire first half. And there we go, 31 points on the board with the panel of Milt Stiegel, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz. And it was the one thing about that game back in July that the Ticats dominated in every way. It was a big play on defense, leading to a big play on special teams, and that set the table for the offense and Collaros eventually to get going. And here we are. It's happened differently, and yet it's happened the same way.
Well, the only difference now is that Drew Willie is still in the game. The second week when they played, Drew Willie went out of the game, and then the wheels fell off. But right now, the wheels fell off from day one, from play one. And it's special teams and defense. And a lot of the times, this is not the quarterback's fault. This is just a good tip play, good interception return for a touchdown. That's a good. But these other special teams play, this is all about effort. This is all about knowing what you're doing, blocking your man. And both of these plays, the ensuing drive, resulted in touchdowns. Right here, Troy Stoudemire has to realize he has to approach that ball. He has to catch that ball in the air. It's not like a punt where the opposing team has to give you 5 yards. That's effort. They still have a chance to come back. I know I may be saying something crazy. I have on blue and yellow. They're getting mollywopped. But they have a chance. There's a chance, Schultz.
Well, I want to talk about a single play, and it was the first play by the Hamilton Ticats, and to me it was impressive in all levels. The design of the play, the execution, but more than anything else, they went for the touchdown right away. Because at this point in the game, so early, very first play, for 11 minutes and 35 seconds, the Bomber defense had been off the field. They had been on the sidelines. And the Ticat offense had also had the same amount of time. But when you get the turnover, it's a positive rush for you in terms of adrenaline for your offensive team. For your defensive team, they got to regroup, get on, and rev up fast. And I thought the call to go for that kill shot right away on that first play, magnificent.
Yeah, Schultz, a great call. Tommy Condell got a good feel for the ball game, going for the jugular right away.
Right away.
I'm curious as to how both these football teams are going to handle their quarterback situation here going forward, because it was ugly for Drew Willie. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers went out and got a new offensive line to try to protect their quarterback, because last year they're dead last in that particular category, and it was nightmares for the offensive line and Drew Willie in the first half. He got sacked 5 times, and that's not counting the hits or the hurries or just the licks that he was taking. And it was just a field day. Eric Noah getting up, Justin Hickman going, Ted Laurent. It was It's an ugly situation right now, and I expect to see Drew Willie maybe get a couple more series and then Brian Braun, because you don't want your franchise being in a situation like this. And I also think that Zach Collaros could be limited in the second half as well.
I remember when I was a sideline reporter for game coverage, I always dreaded, like, the coach down 31 points, got to ask him a question. You often hear, what do you tell your team at the half? It's the least you're asking you guys instead of Mike O'Shea. What do you tell your team at the half?
One play at a time.
Yeah.
One play at a time. And this is the CFL, as they say, no lead is safe.
We've been there.
So they have an opportunity. It's a slim opportunity. They just have to play one play at a time. They come out in the second half. I don't know if they're going to receive the ball or kick it off, but whatever they're doing, score a touchdown, stop them from scoring a touchdown, one play at a time.
We've all been there. And, it's hard to wrap your head around that mentality and knowing that it's a 31-point deficit. But it is literally one play at a time, because there's no 31-point playbook or play in the playbook.
Well, for the Hamilton Ticats, the second half, it is called fun. For the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, it's not so much fun.
Keep hope alive.
Yeah.
There's still hope.
Yeah, losing the battle on special teams, losing the battle on offense, losing the battle on defense. Aside from that, this is a close game. No, seriously, though, one play at a time for the Bombers. Hey, can they get back in this football game? We'll talk to the coach, Paul Lapalese, coming up. There at Tim Hortons Field. It is Ticats big time. CFL fantasy football action. Here's a look at the current leaderboard. Hey, this is a tight race. Be sure you go to tsn.ca/CFL fantasy to set your roster for a chance to win a trip to Grey Cup 103 in a Joseph Abboud suit from Moores. Every pick counts. Make yours today. 31-0 lead for the Hamilton Tiger Cats at the half over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It is time now for the GMC Coaches Playbook. And Paul Lapalese, who is down there sidelines at Tim Hortons Field for this game. Coach, Milt talked about it a little bit. Go into more depth on the special teams dominance by the Tiger Cats in this game. Go into more depth on the special teams dominance by the Tiger Cats in this game.
A good story is when Kent Austin took over this football team a few years back, Jim Daly was the special teams coordinator here. They'd done a pretty good job. They had Chris Williams, did some good things, but Kent went in another direction and hired Jeff Reinbold. And Jeff's done a tremendous job with this special teams unit. They've got more touchdowns than any team in the CFL special teams-wise, and that helps you obviously win games as an offensive player. You look here, they get a block punt early in the game, and that creates a short field for your offense, and obviously when you have a short field, it makes it easy to score. They get the double move and hit Bakari Grant on the wheel route up the sideline. And again, it doesn't take long and a lot of plays when you have a short field to score touchdowns. And again, on this kickoff, you have to have an understanding. After 10 yards, anybody can pick it up, so it gets a bad bounce. Hamilton understands it. They cover it up. And then here's the key thing. They move the ball down the field, and then they hit this great play to Ryan Bauman. A lot of teams have these plays in their system, and they don't have the opportunity to run them because they don't get in any chance. They don't get any opportunities down in that area of the field. So they've done a great job of making sure that the special teams help them and put them in a position to score points.
Just like they did back in week 2. Paul Lapalese, the GMC Coaches Playbook in Hamilton, where it is sheer dominance by the Ticats through a couple of quarters. We'll take a look at the halftime stats as well when we come back here in the CFL on TS.
There they go again. Here's the rush. Burris, he has his man. It's caught down inside the 15, and Greg Ellingson.
Oh my goodness. That could be catch of the year right there. That's highlight reel right there. That's TSN top 10. Come on. Wow. One-hander, bring it down, Calvin McCarty. Show him how it's done. Got him.
And he's got Andrew Harris deep. Got it. Touchdown.
Beautiful throw by Travis Lulay. Stepping up when his team needs him. Great play call.
Take to Whitaker. And Deontay Spencer gets some room. And a block. And a touchdown. Well, that's one way to score your first Canadian Football League touchdown. 52 yards. Smith short drop, and look out, it's picked, and it's going to be a pick six. Akwasi, Owusu, Ansa, touchdown. We're at the mail, and for the second consecutive week, Brett Smith victimized by a pick six.
It's Cats big time on the scoreboard, Milt. How about the rest of the stats?
Well, yeah, those Tiger Cats, they are playing pretty well based on the score and based on the fact that Zach Collaros is doing pretty well. But there's a silver lining for the Bombers. Hey, they're on the road and they're getting per diem. Go Bombers.
That's what matters, right? Emmanuel Davis got it all started for Hamilton. Here he is now with Matthew Shinetti.
Quite a birthday present you got for yourself there. This defense, that energy, did you feel it as soon as you got that pick six on the sidelines?
Well, I mean, I feel like we all feel it every time we step out there. It's something that our defensive coordinator preaches every day in practice, get turnovers, get the ball back to our offense. So, I mean, not just me, the whole defense, we feel like that every time we step out there.
Orlando Steinauer told me before the game that the expectation level has risen on this team. Do you all push yourself to make those kind of plays that you made?
Yeah, we all do. And, I mean, even bigger than that, our coach doesn't have to do it anymore. It comes from inside the team, the defense, we stay on top of each other, who's going to outdo each other. So, we just feed off each other during the game.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And a nice present, too, to get things started for the Tiger Cats. The second time this season he's had a pick six against Winnipeg. Part of that 31-0 lead for Hamilton.
31 points for Hamilton. They've never lost here. And unless the Blue Bombers have a huge comeback in store, it doesn't look like they will again. Jamal Westerman had a sack in the first half. One of the positive highlights, he's with Matthew Shinetti.
Jamal, you guys have played to a certain level throughout the season up into the first half. How do you get back to that level of execution?
I mean, there's no play out there that's 31 points. So 1 first down, 1 stop on defense, 1 2 and out, and just focus on the plays ahead. You can't look up at the scoreboard. You just got to get ready to go.
You seem to be able to get right in front of Caleros towards the end of that first half. Is getting to him, frustrating him, part of the key of getting back in the game in the second half?
I just continue to believe in what we do, believe in our techniques, and just continue to put it on the field. And then we'll see what happens when the horn blows and it's over.
Thanks for that.
No problem.
And we heard Milt at halftime in that beautiful blue and gold heart of his. There is hope. Glenn Suter, there is hope.
Hey,
John Perlberg dug out a gem. There is hope.
I don't know how he gets away with that. But the biggest tied for the biggest comeback in CFL history, Winnipeg versus Hamilton, October 22nd, 1994. They were down 27 points and won 46-44. So what you're saying is, you're saying there's a chance.
That's what Milt's saying right now. So Milt saying.
No, Milt said go Bombers. I don't know how he gets away with that.
Bad news for the Blue Bombers as we kick off this second half. Darvin Adams is out of this ball game. Their leading receiver coming in is out with injury. Brandon Banks will be corralled or close to it. Even when he's looking like he's certainly going to get tackled, he still slips a couple. So Zach Collaros having an outstanding afternoon here against the Blue Bombers. We were chatting during halftime. Glenn, this is the kind of Hamilton Tiger Cat team that was advertised in the preseason.
Tough to find holes in this lineup. I mean, you go across the board, offense, defense, special teams contributing. You heard Coach Lapalisse talk about that at halftime. And they've had some injuries too. No Fantus, no Gable.
Carry the mail with Ray Hawley. Zach Anderson, the tackle.
But what they do have is a state-of-the-art facility, professional facility, that when you're a player and your home is this Tim Hortons Field. And Ken Austin last week took me on a tour of the locker rooms.
Aren't they something else?
Well, it's as good as you'll see south of the border in a smaller version. And guys like to come to work when they have those kind of surroundings.
Well, and it's showing at their workplace. Again, unblemished record. Here comes the rush. Collaros is in trouble, and he'll go down. That's the easiest sack that Jamal Westerman will ever have. That's his second sack of the day. And Jamal Westerman, who just said it, hey, there is a chance. Well, maybe it's led with the defense.
Yeah, one play at a time. That's what he said, right? I mean, you get 1 2 and out at a time, one play at a time, try and scratch your way back in, see what happens once the second half is finally complete. But
Stoudemire maybe gets 3 yards on the return. That's the first 2 and out for the Hamilton Tiger Cats offense. So Drew Willie, who got nicked up a little bit in that first half, brings those gloves back onto the field. 11 of 17, 125. It's not a bad first half in all grand scheme of things, but that pick was huge, and it really had the Tiger Cats moving early on. Pick 6.
Emmanuel Davis, he got things started for Hamilton.
Shadow now enveloping most of the field, except the south end zone. Cameron Marshall. Harris Cotton also sidelined.
You gonna let him dive in my legs like that?
Harris Cotton in that first half.
It looked pretty innocent. It was just a little curl outside that he drops here, and then when he gets hit by Simone Lawrence, his arm gets caught underneath the tackle from Lawrence and has not returned. It doesn't look like he will.
Second down and 3 from the Hamilton 50. The furthest the Bombers have been is the 37. And again, no points, but now they're even closer than they've been. Thanks to Justin Veltung.
That was a nice throw by Willie. He's rolling to his left here, and he has to get his shoulder, his off shoulder around to the target to Justin Veltung. He just swings it around. Watch him, a little play action. Then he gets out there, gets that left shoulder, twists it around, and finds it in the window between Eric Harris, the outside linebacker, and Daly inside.
20-yard gain. Blue Bombers doing what they have to do. And more importantly here, they have to score. Willie, play action. Out of the backfield's Colehurt. Colehurt will bash for another first down into the red zone inside that 20-yard line.
Well, this is as deep as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have been all year. They are all game, I should say. They've got to the 37, then took a sack, took them out of field goal range in the first half, and points that they desperately needed. At that time, it was 21-0. So you're right, Rod. I mean, points here obviously crucial.
Blue Bomber team that comes in second in the red zone. Another out pattern over that shoulder. Brandon Stewart makes the tackle on Rory Colehurt. Stewart scored that onside touchdown last week against the Argos. He also had an interception touchdown, a pick 6 against the Blue Bombers in week 2 in that demolition. Winnipeg trying to stem the tide here. Second down and 6 from the 15. Willie settles into the sunshine and down on the far side goes Julian Fioli-Gadino. He's going to be held shy of the first down.
Close enough here. Decision time for Michael O'Shea. Third receiver to the wide side of the field there. Big hit by Courtney Stephen. I think you're down by 31. You're going for this. It's a long yard, but they're bringing in Robert Marr. I don't think Michael O'Shea has much choice.
Yeah, field goals are not going to get it done here. Third down, might be a yard and a half. They have to get to the 9, just beyond the 9-yard line for the first down. Twin backs, power high formation. Now Marr has some room now. He'll tuck it and take it. Remember that fake you saw in the first half when you thought Robert Marr had thrown? That time he does it again, and he does hang on with the bootleg.
Just wondering if there's a late flag here, Rod, and I'm wondering if this is going against the Bombers as a late hit out of bounds. Watch Marr get the edge, and then he gets first down. There's a hit from behind.
Yeah, Justin Hickman goes flying into the signage.
I thought that was Jake Thomas in short
Major
yardage.
foul. Clipping. Winnipeg number 95. The foul occurred after yards were gained. We're going to go back 15 yards. First down, Winnipeg.
So one step forward and 15 yards back.
Hit from behind on Justin Hickman. He's gearing it down on the sideline. Unnecessary, but yards were gained by Robert Marr, so they get the first down. They just lose the yardage. And then some.
They remain in the red zone. Veltung at the top of your screen. See the sunshine in that far side of the end zone. They'll go up the gut with Cameron Marshall. And they'll go first and goal.
Often in this part of the field, Linus Steinauer has sent the blitz from the safety spot, and there's Mike Daly. He's going to come down, but Cameron Marshall is going to hit the opposite side. He sees the safety, so he just plays off of him. Straight up the middle.
Orlando Steinauer pitching a shutout right now. For how long? Willie, touchdown, Justin Belton. The Blue Bombers are on the board. One step at a time.
That's what Jamal Westerman said at halftime to Matthew down on the sideline. He said, you know, just one play at a time. Start with the 2-0. They got the 2-0, partly because Westerman made the sack. Drew Willie overcomes the penalty after the first down by Robert Marv, and he gets Veltung out in the flat. He outruns all the angles.
Former star kick returner and receiver from Idaho. That's his second CFL touchdown. Had his first last week against the BC Lions. Getting a chance to play there because of the injury to Nick Moore. Lirim Hajrullahu converts. So one play, one step. The key is the Bombers are on the board thanks to Drew Willie and Justin Belton. Still loads of football left here at Tim Hortons Field. Finally jumps onto the board. Justin Belton. We know his speed. We know his catching ability. How about his jumping ability, Suits? Look at this. This is Justin Belton. This is called a standing box jump. Not quite a vertical, but I tell you what, he's got good hops. Look at this.
Almost taller than him. 4'8".
That's crazy.
And that, you know what it is? It's straight power. Guarantee you one thing. Belton can dunk a basketball with a vertical like that.
Well, right now, that touchdown has put his team on the board. Still a long, long road ahead. It's going to be up to their defense, and they're looking like they're going to get another point here. Brandon Banks thought about letting it go through the end zone, wasn't going to get that far, so he gives up a single. So the Bombers now down 31-8 on Hajrulahu's single in the end zone. Bomber defense coming off that big stand the first time that they induced the Ticats into a 2-and-out, which led to that drive.
Yeah, they've been coming together. I mean, you look last week against the BC Lions, the Lions scored in their opening drive, but then D only allowed 3 second-half points. So good second half against the BC Lions. They're going to need a real good second half against Hamilton.
Collaros now settles in, chucks one up, and it's picked off. Johnny Adams has his fourth, and suddenly the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have some life. Now they got to turn this takeaway into points. Akron, Ohio's Johnny Adams out of Michigan State played with the Buffalo Bills back in 2013.
Did his Veltung box jump to go up and rip that down from Bakari Grant. That's for young DBs watching this game. That's how you go get the football. Get it at its high point, rip it out of the air.
There is a pulse beating within the Blue Bombers right now. That had to be caught, though, by Veltung.
Rod. Veltung had to sit down in that curl spot. He tried to run through it, and Drew Willie, I had a conversation with Michael O'Shea before the game. Drew Willie will throw the receiver open. He said his accuracy is that good that he'll throw it just subtly to the inside or the outside, depending on where the defender was. Now, Veltung's new to the system, new to the offense, so get on the same page there. They have a completion.
Send out 5 receivers, some blocking help now, but Willie has to throw it away. Otherwise, he was going to give up a 6th sack. Drew Willie's had to run for his life today.
Rico Murray covered down his receiver. He wanted the out and up down here, and Rico Murray just stays high and he stays on top of it. Drew Willie was going to try and roll out, and then there's the double move, but right there, well covered, he has to throw it away.
Hajrullahu trying to angle it again for Banks. Brandon Banks now trying to cut outside. If he takes this back, it's coming back. Brandon Banks, Mr. Electricity, will take it all the way. But it's not going to matter. Once again, a touchdown by Brandon Banks is coming all the way back. This guy scores more spectacular touchdowns that don't count than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I remember a guy back in the old days that did that too. It was Gizmo Williams, a little different runner than Brandon Banks.
I think even Brandon Banks knew as he turned the corner, he saw that clip from behind, the block from behind. And it's coming all the way back. I think everybody in the house saw it. 104 yards taken back. Brandon Banks needs an oxygen tank.
During the return, illegal block. Hamilton, number 5. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Justin Hickman.
Yeah, and I saw it live. It was Justin Hickman with a push in the back, just to the left of your screen, and right there. That block is clean, but it was before that block. Here's Justin Hickman, and right there.
Yeah, no doubt. So back to the 5-yard line. That could be a turning point too if the Bombers have any hopes of coming back. Tolliver though slices up to the 20-yard line. Penalty flag in the end zone as Collaros threw the football.
Major foul. Roughing the passer. Winnipeg, number 55. 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
At 15 to that 15-yard pickup. Westerman, the guilty party.
Couple of penalties back to back here.
It was a straight arm, straight elbow right into Collaros, who pleaded his case and got it.
Deep into the third quarter, 9 penalties total. That's different than last night.
Yeah. Something we haven't seen too often, in fact, this season as they adjust to these new rules this season. Luke Tasker makes the catch.
By the way, there were 43 penalties last night in the Ryder-Toronto game. Went back and looked at it again. 40 were blatant penalties committed by the players.
A lot of talk, clamor about, the adjustment, etc., the new rules, but how many of the penalties have been procedure calls, offside calls, and that has nothing to do with the rules. Pump fake, Collaros. And another pick. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Bruce Johnson, again, breathes something into his team. Blue Bombers are going to desperately need to turn this into points. Out of Tasker's hands into Johnson's hands. 6:03 to go in the third, 31-8. Bruce Johnson's first interception of the season. And with more on the sideline, let's go down to Matt.
Guys, as soon as Luke Tasker and the offense came off the field, Ken Austin looked at his entire offense and said, guys, come here. At the end of the bench, he yelled at them saying, if you want to be a great team, you have to stop giving the ball away like that. And then the coach looked at every single player in the eye and said, do you understand me? Do you understand me, guys?
Well, back-to-back picks and possessions will do that, Matt.
Well, and you got a big lead. It's focus. And let me show you Luke Tasker. I mean, this never happens to Luke Tasker. He takes his eye off the football. Look at him looking that way, not at the football as it arrives. I mean, those are little things that when you have this big lead, you lose your concentration, and all of a sudden the momentum switches to the Bombers side, so Ken Austin giving a little kick in the backside.
Cats bring the blitz again. Here's the heat, and Willie can only throw it away.
He had to throw it around that blitz. He had to adjust his throwing motion, or he would have got his arm hit by Eric Harris.
So once again, another takeaway is going to result in no points.
There's Harris right there. We've seen him line up in the interior of the defensive line and drop out of there. Now this time he lines up outside and actually comes on the blitz. And
well, here's the question. Hairolahu, is he going to angle this? I'm sure he will. And does Brandon Banks have anything left in that tank? Didn't matter. Again, inside the 10-yard line for Lirim Hairolahu. That's 9 times this season. Runaway leader in the Canadian Football League in that department. Cats are the runaway leaders today in sacks and points. 31-8. here in Hamilton. There was an early season trend of sacks being down this season, but not in this one today. Our sack tally brought to you by Purelator. Tackling hunger, a promise we can all help deliver.
Yeah, 8 sacks total in this game between the two teams combined, and 3 players have a pair. Jamal Westerman for Winnipeg, Eric Norwood, and Justin Hickman for Hamilton. All 3 players with 2 sacks so far tonight. Still time to play. Maybe get that hat trick.
Lirim Hajrulahou's kick will once again make it a long field for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
We'll see if the pep talk from the head coach, Kent Austin, gets this offense for Hamilton back on track.
Well, that's one thing Kent Austin preaches, is being professional, being ready. Says there are only a few things you can control: your preparation, your emotion, and your execution. They were doing that well in the first half, I'll tell you. Anthony Woodson, the former Bomber, barrels out past the 15-yard line.
Did a nice job last week when C.J. Gable went down. He got 10 carries and a nice 5.4-yard average, 54 yards rushing for Anthony Woodson. A good change-up for Hamilton. And again, another example of the depth in their lineup.
Former 4th-round pick of the Bombers back in 2010, former Calgary Dino. A lot of his teammates littered throughout the CFL from his college days. Look at this play. Brandon Banks, the turnaround, will get a first down. It's going one way and another, and they have become the masters of deception. That's a couple of times they've run that crisscross in the backfield.
Key there for that first down was the success on first down. Nice run.
Four minutes to go, third quarter. Cats started purring early in this one and really haven't looked back. Collaros now. Here comes some heat. Some more. He's dancing now. Zach Collaros. Whoa, what a move. Zach Collaros finally goes down. Pulls a little David Copperfield. And there has to be a jockstrap somewhere near the 15-yard line.
I think Jamal Westerman had the first crack at him. He's the left end here. Lots of time initially. A stunt up front is picked up nicely. Ray Hawley steps into a nice block there, and then he can't find an open target, so the scrambling begins. Jake Thomas had a crack at him, and finally Bass brings him down, but he gets about 9.5. A
guy who loved to run the football when he was in high school, leading his Big Red in Ohio to back-to-back state titles, and he loved running the football.
Well, it just makes him so dangerous because you're guessing as a defensive line in front seven. Instead of just getting into your pass rush move as a defensive end or a tackle, you have to peek. You have to look past the blocker to see if he's still where you expect him to be in the pocket. Real mobile quarterback with quick feet like Zach Collaros just gives defensive linemen nightmares.
Tolliver and Matt Coates are your wideouts here on first down. Collaros wants to air it out. He does. Over the top. Was looking for Junior Collins. But an overthrow will make it second down now. Damon Washington in coverage.
Show you a great example of Damon Washington understanding the new rules and playing by them. He doesn't make contact. You'll lose him for a second, but he'll cross in your middle of your screen. Okay, the contact is done. He knows it. Now he's just going to run with them, maintain position. He touches the back of Luke Tasker just to make sure he's in the right position. Doesn't grab him or contact him or turn him. Well played by Damon Washington. It's possible.
Yes, it is. Throwing down. Collaros has Hawley. Now he does it. He has to throw it. And what a catch by Makari Grant. Chris Randall there. It's going to be 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards short of a first down, though.
Let me show you
what the spot is.
Let me show you what I mean about the defensive line not committing when you have a quarterback that can scramble like Zach Collaros. See, they step up. Now hold it there. See right here, Jake Thomas does not want to commit and go after Collaros. He's staying outside, not letting him get outside, but he's also not getting the pressure.
What a great ability Collaros has to feel that rush. Studermeyer. Be a no yards call. Hopped once, so a 5-yard penalty added on to that. Good field position again for the Blue Bombers. Bombers have had a couple of sparks here in this third quarter, including a touchdown, but they could actually be right back in this thing. They've failed the last couple of times to turn turnovers into points.
Go back and take one more look at that last play, because they're attending to Zach Collaros on the sideline after he got his hand hit here.
Yeah, right there.
Sandwich between two players, and that's his left hand, not the throwing arm, throwing hand.
They're going to run the football. Cameron Marshall ran into the back of his O-lineman, Stanley Bryant. So what's going to be second down? Medium here.
Mentioned Cameron Marshall being more involved in the offense this week than in past weeks. He 17 carries in the last 2 games for Cameron Marshall, so they've been working him in anyway. And Paris Cotton, if you're just joining us, is gone for the game, injured his arm.
He's out. Darvin Adams out of the game. 2 casualties of the first half. Bombers were down 31-0. Look out, there's the rush. Willie chucks it. And incomplete. And down on the turf right now is the Blue Bomber quarterback, holding his knee. And immediate concern. He's hardly had a millisecond in this game to throw the football. They were converging once again. We'll have to see what happened to Drew Willie as he let that ball fly.
I think it was Eric Harris who comes off the top of your screen here, and Willie tries to twist around and go to the second read, not the first guy. He wanted the guy in the flat. You see the right knee just kind of hyperextended there and twisted on him.
Well, Drew Willie has been knocked out of a couple of games this season, but has been able to start. You can hear the crowd here in the audience reacting on the big screen to that knee buckling. Drew Willie has been an absolute warrior, guy who keeps coming back, even playing through pain.
And a clean hit there from Eric Harris. The target area was correct. It was below the neck, above the knee. Just unfortunate the way Willie, he kind of jumped to throw to that second receiver.
This is partial residue, though, also of the heat that Drew Willie has faced in this game. They have had so much pressure, so many hits, 5 sacks, and I certainly wish the best for Drew Willie here, but it's not looking very good.
Keep in mind, the first time Willie was hurt and knocked out of the game was against these Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Well, this was week 2, and this was Adrian Tracy. Drew Willie knocked right out, and then this was the sandwich in Edmonton as he got twisted down. And again, still was able to start the next game. That's the most remarkable thing about this guy, is his ability to bounce back. The way that knee buckled. See the concern by all the players. They huddle around Drew Willie. Seven seconds remaining in this quarter. Drew finally is able to sit up a little bit here, but he is in obvious pain. Trying to give that knee some mobility here. There's the backup, Brian Brom.
Went 16 of 28 when Willie was hurt against the Hamilton Tiger Cats in week 2.
Boy, it's an unfortunate theme for the Blue Bombers, though, for their quarterbacks the last couple of seasons. Again, worst in the CFL in protecting their quarterback last year. Gave up the most amount of sacks in the CFL. That's why they went out and revamped their line.
Well, they've got their leader, and they've just got to keep him healthy somehow. And unfortunate that he's down again, but when they have him in the lineup, they can compete with any team in the division, any team in the league. They're 3-1 when Willie completes the game.
How about when he's in a game versus out of the game? When he's in a game, just pure points, the Bombers are plus 11. When he's out of the game, they're minus 51. Drew Willie will be helped off. Really favoring that right knee. It looked like it was very badly hyperextended. Trying to get a report from Matthew Shinetti. And it will be Brian Brom who will likely take over in the next sequence. They'll kick the football away here on the final play upcoming of this third quarter. Blue Bombers have had no luck, no success against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. On the scoreboard and in the health department. First Paris Cotton, then Darvin Adams, and likely looks like Drew Willie is out of this ball game. Brandon Banks wants the football, but has nowhere to run. Teague Sherman downfield quickly. Banks slow to get up on his sideline. That's 3/4 complete here. Blue Bombers get on the board. Could have had a lot more in that third quarter. They got 8, but they're down 31-8. It looks like their quarterback is out of the game. Hamilton Tiger Cats continue their home field magic in the Steel City. Boy, shades of week 2 this game, 31-8. Tiger Cats of week 2 this game, 31-8. Tiger Cats taking it to the Blue Bombers. And just like week 2, back in early July, back in Winnipeg, the Blue Bombers see their quarterback knocked out of the ball game.
Yeah, Hamilton lost their focus there a little bit offensively and turned it over a couple of times in that third quarter. But now we talk about quarterbacks. Brian Brom will get a chance to play. I know when he was hurt, when Willie was hurt in week 2, a lot of the fans wanted to see Robert Marve, but we found out after the game from Michael O'Shea that Robert Marve was not available, that he was still injured but dressed. Drew Willie making his way to the locker room, so
we'll watch that situation. Brom will come in first, and makes you wonder how long Zach Collaros will go here if they keep this lead as Collaros goes down wisely. Last thing the Tiger Cats want right now is to have Collaros out there with a big lead and have him susceptible to injury.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that's what I mean about the discussion on the quarterbacks. How long do you leave Zach Collaros out there, and does Brian Brom get a couple of series, and if he can't move the football, do they take a look at Robert Marve, Winnipeg Blue Bombers?
Brian Brom has his helmet on the sideline. You saw Jeff Matthews on the sideline. A chance we might see Matthews play for Kent Austin rather, and Cornell, look at that. Sack as Collaros goes down, just as we talked about that. Khalil Bass comes hunting Zach Collaros. 4th sack for the Blue Bombers.
The Bombers have had success. They've overloaded one side of the offensive line, and that's exactly where Bass comes from. Just kind of loops around, and it comes clean.
Hugh O'Neill decides to kick that out. It'll bounce out near the 46-yard line. So the Blue Bombers, with fading comeback hopes, don't have Drew Willie. He's in the locker room with injury. They don't have Darvin Adams. They don't have Paris Cotton. They have Brian Braum at quarterback right now.
Well, and you know, if you're a Bomber fan and just a fan of the game, you hope that Drew Willie can bounce back once again.
He has before.
Yeah, and it didn't look great when he got sandwiched against the Edmonton Eskimos, but missed just one practice and was right back out there working at it.
Braum, play action, will turn and complete his first pass to Melton.
Good throw there to get started. But I was going to mention, Rod, I mean, obviously everyone hoping the best for Drew Willie. Either way, though, Michael O'Shea has got to figure out what happens if Willie's not available. So Brian Braum has an opportunity here that he's got to take full advantage of. That's a good start. Nice throw on the run.
He's completed 53% of his passes for 217 yards, 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. I'll tell you what, the way the Hamilton Tiger Cats defense is playing today, Joe Montana would have a tough time out here.
Well, it's all the different looks, and it's guys coming clean. It's one thing when you beat your man and you've made a nice pass rush move and you get up the field and you get the quarterback. But there's some Hamilton Tiger Cats hitting these guys clean, and that's because of the scheme from Alonga Steinauer.
And one of the best defensive minds in the game.
Safety.
Braum in trouble! 6-pack of sacks now for the Cats. Ted Laurent has his second.
Ted Laurent's right here. Now there's going to be a blitz. So again, if you're Dominic McCard, the center, who's got to decide who to block and call it out to his offensive line, he's got that line of scrimmage. He lets the safety go. He's picked up by Cameron Marshall, and then Ted Laurent beats his man and gets there.
6 sacks. Laurent, Hickman, and Norwood all a pair of sacks each. Hairelauhu's kick again pins the Cats, but nothing has held them down. They haven't scored in the second half, but they didn't need points right now. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. With Glenn Suter, Matthew Shinetti, our entire crew here, Rod Black with you. Sun retreating here. Now a Sunday night in Hamilton. What has been a very profitable day for the Tiger Cats. Another sellout here at Tim Hortons Field, and a first half unlike any they've had this season. 31-8. Right now they scored 31 and led 31-0 at halftime.
Zach Collaros so far 16 of 25, 229, 3 touchdowns, and then the 2 interceptions. One not his fault, bounced off Luke Tasker's hands. The question comes up, how long does he stay in here? A couple first downs here. They work the clock a little bit.
Here comes the Bomber blitz, and a nice catch by Tasker, son of Steve. 7-time Pro Bowler down the road in Buffalo with the Bills.
Show you a little textbook dig route right here. That's what it is. Down the field. And then you break it off, come right across the middle. Nice catch. He extends for that one.
Ray Hawley's going nowhere. Jake Thomas, where Acadia Axman drops him.
Jake Thomas did not bite on the play fake at all.
So it'll be second after a loss of 4 on the play. Second down and 14. Crazy as it sounds, the Blue Bombers still have a shot in this game. 31-8. Find a way to score. 2-possession game. Ticats haven't put any points on the board in the second half. Collaros with time. Look at this pass to Hawley down the sideline. Little teardrop on the go.
Well, Hawley makes the adjustment. Collaros doesn't have anything downfield, but he's got all kinds of time. So he just starts to run to his left with the option to either run or throw. Hawley starts there in the backfield, and then he gets out. Now he is a swing man, but with all that time for Collaros, he just takes off up the field, and Collaros dumps it over the top of the defender.
Another quick hitter over to Tolliver, who has a score in this game. Hamilton Tiger Cats 9.5 minutes away from making it 9 straight wins here in the cozy confines. Their new home here.
That first down by Hawley gives Kent Austin probably a little relief here, because he's going to flop the field now. Even if they punt here, put Brian Braum deep in his end, and may be able to take Collaros out. A couple first downs.
Hawley was in motion. He's looking over to Hawley and has the slant pattern. And Ray Hawley, who's had a good game, would like to have that one back. That was right in the midst.
It happens.
Again, in place of CJ Gable, who's banged up. Could be gone for a lot longer, as Matthew Shinetti reported earlier. Nick Grigsby is back with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the former Bomber.
Not dressed tonight, but yep.
Here's a big kick. Studermeyer from his 4-yard line. Maybe gets 6. Under 9 to go. Ray Hawley just before that drop. Big hit there. Big hitting game. Cats lead 31-8. A lot of points on the board for Hamilton, but their defense has done another masterful job. With more on that, let's go down to Matthew Shinetti.
Absolutely, Rod. You speak to Orlando Steinauer, and he tells you this time with this team that's lost 2 Grey Cups, it's all about intensity. He's no longer holding their hands. He says Simone Lawrence tells us that when it comes to installation day, there's no more patience. It's about intensity. It's about fire. All the players now are getting upset at each other in practice when they're not executing. That level that Steinauer says, listen, we've got to keep it raised. We've lost the last 2 years. Losing those 2 Grey Cups has really meant if we don't play fast, we don't win. Guys?
Yeah, the fuel is to get back to that Grey Cup game. But they don't want to finish second this time. Brian Braun has to get that ball out quickly. He does to Fioli Godino.
Well, it's an outstanding defense, and they have great personnel, but that's only part of it. It's part of putting the personnel in the right positions. Points allowed is 14.8 here at Tim Hortons Field. 24 sacks, 22 takeaways, shutting down the run, so it puts quarterbacks in second and long. Multiple looks, and we've seen tons of sacks tonight.
Keep in mind, a team that's played without a home the last couple of years. Braun settles into the pocket, and that could have been 6 the other way. Emmanuel Davis already had one on his birthday earlier.
Boy, I think he got there faster than even he thought he was going to get there, because he puts the left hand. I think you're bang on, Rod. He turns around with that right hand. He might take that one, and it's a shorter stroll to the end zone this time. Watch the
why not have another
defensive coordinator getting excited. He had a few of those in his day.
Oh, he did. Why not have 2 birthday gifts in one day, huh? Inside 8 now. Another punt for Hairolahu. Brandon Banks is not back this time. Looks like he got a little nicked up last return. We'll get an update on that. Junior Collins returns that one. Time running out on the Blue Bombers. Zach Collaros, maybe his last series here today. We'll see. 7 minutes, 40 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. 31-8 Hamilton. We've got a lot of coaches on the sideline, including our own Paul LaPolice, who is down there. Lapo, what have you made of this game?
Well, the Ticats do such a great job of stopping the run and making you one-dimensional. So you don't, on first down, you can't bang your head against the wall. If they got all those guys, you got to be able to get the quick throws to put yourself in second and short. Because as you're seeing, when it's second and long, they're bringing a lot of pressure and a lot of guys off the edge and making it hard for your protections. With second and long, you got to put more people in the box to help your offensive linemen single up their blocking guys.
Lapo, stay with us if you can, as Zach Collaros goes back to work here. Not sure how much more time we'll see from him, as you might want to get him out of the ball game. And thrown rather violently to the turf is Luke Tasker. Coach, no penalty flag.
Coach, I want to ask you about Zach Collaros and just what you see when he creates outside the pocket. Broke down Toronto like that too.
Every game you see Zach, there's one or two plays that he makes that are what you call off-schedule plays, where he breaks a tackle. Somebody's got him dead to rights for a sack. He breaks away. It happened 2 series ago, and he hits the wheel route up the sideline. That's real. That's a special playmaker, and that keeps you on the field. That's why they went out and got him a couple years ago, because what he can do with the ball running around, and he's getting much better at his deep ball accuracy this year, so he's becoming a much more complete football player.
You got to think, Coach, that this might be his last series in this one. If you were coaching on that sideline, would you be thinking about taking him out?
Probably after this series, yes, but you never know in our league, but I would give him this series and then move on.
Collaros, look at him dance, here he goes, and he'll throw it away.
One more, Coach, for you. Tim Hortons Field sold out again and enjoying their Ticats with a big lead here, and Ken Austin down on that sideline. Can you describe the level of noise and how difficult it would be for the opposition in here?
Yeah, it's a loud place down here, and as you say, Coach Austin, you don't want to be near Coach Austin during the game, because he's, I used to work for him, so when, at game day breakfast, he'd scream when he said pass the salt when we were having food. I mean, so he's intense and gets after it, and this crowd is great. I talked to Scott Mitchell before the game, and he said they have 5% usually capacity left after every game, so they're all pretty much sold out.
Great stories. A penalty flag downfield, likely interference. Great story about Zach Collaros after Monday's game here.
Yeah.
And the win over
Saw
Toronto.
that tweet.
Pass interference. Winnipeg number 25. Automatic first down, point of infraction.
Here's the interference. Zach stayed.
It was midnight.
It was midnight, and he was still out in the field playing football with some kids here. Tommy Condell's kids. Has grown to love the city of Hamilton. Of course, Zach Collaros started in Toronto as a backup to Ricky Ray, got some playing time, and did so well that the Hamilton Tiger Cats wanted to make him their franchise quarterback.
There was something more that Bruce Johnson did before we picked up that replay, because the actual and the challenge flag has just come up from Michael O'Shea. I mean, I think I would throw the challenge here too. I saw Bruce Johnson turn and run with the receiver. It was a subtle.
Winnipeg is challenging the ruling on the field of defensive pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
It's be an interesting one, because I think when Junior Collins made his corner break, there was a little hand fighting, but you can see Johnson turn. Leaning into him, but not grabbing him. I'm not sure that. Let's put it this way. I understand why Michael O'Shea threw the challenge flag here. Looked like pretty good defense to me. If anything, Collins pulled back on the head of Bruce Johnson as the ball was arriving. Now, you can't challenge offensive pass interference, but they can challenge that the call be overturned on defensive pass interference.
Still awaiting the verdict from CFL command. Andre Proulx, who is back in stripes this week, had been off for a while after an injury. Welcome him back this season. And here is the verdict.
Review, there is no pass interference on the play. The pass is incomplete. It will be third down. Third down.
Something goes right for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. A successful challenge for Mike O'Shea.
That was good defense. That was good defense by Bruce Johnson. Turned, leaned a little bit. That's okay. was in good position and didn't impede Junior Collins. So overturned penalty, just 11 in this game. Just 32 less than last night. But again, as I mentioned, both those teams, Toronto and Saskatchewan, that's an area that I think both coaches would tell you they've got to clean up.
People can
in
complain.
a big way. It wasn't we officials.
Yeah, you can complain all you want about the inordinate amount of flags and penalties are up, of course, but sometimes it's got to be on you as well. Clean that up. Studermeyer is back at his 20. Hugh O'Neill. Studermeyer. If he gets right, he might have some room, but he's not getting right. He's not getting anywhere. Down at the 16, lost some yardage. Well, it's football season, but it's also basketball time for Team Canada. FIBA Women's Basketball Championship begins tonight. Canada's first game against Puerto Rico at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TSN 1 and TSN 5 as Canada looks to qualify for Rio 2016. And Robert Marv is now next in line for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Former Purdue Boilermaker. Got some playing time last year. Injuries hit. Good play action. Veltog is pummeled by Emmanuel Davis. I don't want to influence any voters, but Emmanuel Davis has to be considered right now as one of those Shaw performers of the week.
Yeah, and I think Justin Veltog here kind of is going down. See how he crouches down to turn? And that's why the helmet contact. That's why there's no penalty flag.
It's a pretty good birthday, huh?
Oh, he's had a great game.
26 today. Started it off. Blew out the candles. Cats have been blowing out the Blue Bombers.
You know, another team effort for Hamilton. We talked about early on the first quarter how this defense doesn't have a tackler in the top 20, and yet they all contribute at different times. Tonight, Emmanuel Davis steps up. But their special teams, after he gets the pick six, the teams kick in. They get 2 turnovers, 1 block kick and 1 fumble recovery off a kickoff that turned into a 21-point lead just like that. So again, team effort. Collaros is putting up numbers offensively. 3 touchdown passes for him.
1st and 10 for the Bombers. Robert Marr close to the 3-minute warning. Slides one into Veltog again as he ducks underneath. And that's where they'll spot it. What a great second effort from Justin Veltog. We talked about his jumping ability earlier. How about his ducking ability?
Yeah, he had to get under there to just to protect himself.
Second down and 3. Marshall's in the backfield. Marr unloads it. Incomplete, and will dust himself off. That's the 3-minute warning, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats are 2 minutes and 55 seconds away from picking up another win and creating quite a logjam atop the CFL East. So the non-striped footballs tonight, NFL preseason action. Hall of Fame game, Steelers and Vikings, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on TSN 3 and 4, and I'm sure there'll be a tribute tonight to Frank Gifford, in case you didn't hear. The football icon, Pro Football Hall of Famer Frank Gifford passed away at the age of 84, longtime New York Giant, won a championship there.
Multiple Pro Bowls,
sports
league MVP in 56. Yeah, did our job well for years. That Monday Night Football crew, outstanding.
Right beside Howard Cosell and Dandy Don. Frank Gifford passing away earlier today. Justin Collins. So as we thought, well, did we think? Saw Jeff Matthews throwing the football on the sideline, but Zach Collaros is coming back in the game with 2:40 to go.
I don't know about this one. I mean, I'll let the former quarterback, I'll defer to his judgment when it comes to Ken Austin. But I would not have Zach Collaros. I mean, it could be just a thumb off a helmet or a hit after a play fake, and all of a sudden you lose your guy when the game's over with 2:40 to go.
Here is a guy who wants to play every snap, every down. In fact, Zach Collaros will tell you the only thing that really he's ever guilty of is trying to do too much and wanting to do it all the time.
Yeah, I get that, but that's where the coach, you know, and again, I mean,
Matthews took off that red cover for his helmet. They put those on so that the quarterback in the huddle can actually see his backup. They put it back on Matthews so they can see the signals, and I think Jeff Matthews had taken that off. He was expecting to go back in.
Well, the other thing it does, Rod, is it gives your backup a chance to take some snaps. I mean, it's, you know, if down the road here Collaros is knocked out for a quarter even or whatever, then Matthews has some more reps under his belt. I mean,
and you need those reps.
Yeah, that's why. And I know coaches know what can happen. I mean, our coach is on the sideline, and he said it in a break to us, hey, you never know in the CFL, because the no lead is safe slogan is reality. And
here's the other one. No playing time is guaranteed.
Yeah, that's risky. I know they're going to run the ball and get it out of Collaros' hands right away, but it only takes a fluke hit or twist or something, and you lose your guy when you shouldn't have had him out there.
Hugh O'Neill, high kick. Studermeyer gathers it at his 20, now reverses field, cuts back again, and spins. And the whistle blows up near the 29-yard line. So if you're just joining us, you see that score. Hamilton hasn't scored in the second half, but they haven't needed to because this happened early.
Manuel Davis took that tip to the house, got the ball rolling for Hamilton right out of the gate in the first quarter. A block kick gave Collaros the ball, Winnipeg side of the field. He hits Bakari Grant. Then he goes to his tight end, Ryan Bombin. After another special teams play, Tolliver later in the game, and it was all Hamilton. Now, they did have a little bit of a low point in the third quarter, a couple of interceptions, but when you have a 31-0 lead, that can happen. They lost their focus for about half of the third quarter. Ken Austin gave him a pep talk, came back and finished this one off.
Well, there'll be a lot of talk in Winnipeg this week as they get ready for their next game. The Blue Bombers will host Toronto, and it's picked.
And he'll
Happy birthday, Emmanuel Davis. Could it get any better? Oh my goodness. 2 pick sixes.
I think we got our player of the game. What do you think?
I think we got our defensive player of the week. 2 pick sixes on his 26th birthday. You know what? You're done, man. You don't need anything else. You don't need any more presents. The celebration, I don't think it gets any better than that.
And walks in, one in both sides of the stadium. Emmanuel Davis. Who's going to be our player of the game? He already was. That just sealed the deal.
Wow. So, you know, let's just do it now. What do you say?
Yeah, go ahead, man. It's over.
It's over.
It's over, baby.
It's over. Nissan Titan Player of the Game brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League, and the official birthday gift to Emmanuel Davis. 2 of them, as a matter of fact.
Hey, you can go a whole career, a whole decade of playing football and not get a pick six.
He's had 3 against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers this season. 3 of them. He would like to play the Blue Bombers every week. Nissan Titan Player of the Game. And that's now 5 defensive touchdowns against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 30-point lead right now.
Well, all the Bombers are going to be talking about for the next week is quarterbacking and the health of Drew Willie. Michael O'Shea will have to check on that in the next couple of days, and then what he does if he's not available. If Willie cannot start next week, does he stick with Braun?
Stoudemire trying to break it outside. He does. Donald Washington knocks him out, knocks the ball away. 1:10 to go here. Well, the big picture in the CFL East. Remember last year everybody talked about the unbalance between East and West and how much better the West was than the East. And nobody's saying that right now.
All the difference a year makes. East looks very good. Ottawa 4 wins. Toronto with their 4th last night, and Hamilton Tiger Cats will win their 4th. This time last year, they were 1-5, I believe, if I remember correctly.
But off to a horrendous start, and then, of course, made it back to the Grey Cup game. Hamilton will host the BC Lions next weekend as they play most of their games in August right back here again, starting on the road because of the Pan Am Games. Look at this. If someone said before the season, based on what you saw last year and the way they started, look at that. And Montreal's right in it as well. Montreal has Edmonton this week. Tough to keep pace in the East. There goes Robert Marr. But you're right about Winnipeg. They're going to have to do some serious soul searching. Just not Drew Willie. Paris Cotton going out. Darvin Adams. To put some pressure on Kyle Walters, their GM, and the rest of this team. Fill some holes here. So far this season in interdivisional games as Marr gets sacked. That's the hat trick for Justin Hickman. East is leading the West 10-6 at this stage. So far this season. It wasn't anywhere near that last year. I think it might have been 1-9.
Been circling number 5 quite often tonight. Justin Hickman gets 3. Eric Norwood, a couple. Ted Laurent, a couple.
Good move by Marv to avoid the pressure. Unloads it downfield, and Bastian makes the catch. Guy who was a Saskatchewan Rough Rider project for a while, former Concordia Stinger.
Well, one thing that Ken Austin needed to clean up a little bit was their own penalties, and they did that tonight as well. If there was a little chink in the armor in this Hamilton team, it might have been that. They didn't show it tonight.
Well, Robert Marv has to slide, and zeros now on the board. What's the old saying? There's no place like home. There is no place like Tim Hortons Field. Perfect, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They do it again to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Hammer time. 38-8 is the final. And there's a first place tie between 3 teams atop the CFL East. As we send it back to the studio, here's Rod Smith.
All right, Rod, yes, complete domination by the Hamilton Tiger Cats, improving to 4-2 right from start to finish. The bookend pick sixes by Emmanuel Davis as well. Back with Milton, Matty, and Schultze. And it's hard to imagine anything going worse for the Blue Bombers after that first half when they were down 31-0. Well, Matty, it did get worse with some key injuries, including one to their quarterback, Drew Willie, again.
Yeah, and he's had that feeling at halftime when it was 31-0. How long are they going to keep Drew Willie in the football game fighting? And, the kid's a fighter, and it went from bad to worse in a hurry, and this is just ugly. It was just dominant. It was an O-line meltdown in Winnipeg. And the Hamilton Tiger Cat defense continues to flex its muscles at home. And not only did Willie go out on this play here, but they lost their running back and their best receiver as well. Just a fiasco for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at this point. And I mean, it's a tough hole to crawl out of right now because they're devastated right now. We know what this football team's like without Drew Willie. Now they're going to be without Cotton and their best receiver.
You know, it was a physically punishing game, too, because you mentioned the injuries. And, I mean, these guys, for a game that looked one-sided, they went at it. But for Hamilton Ticats, when you can shut out another team through the course of a first half, that is outstanding. It's the only second time this year that a team has not been able to score any points in the first 30 minutes of play. The sophistication of the blitz packages was magnificent. You just don't know where they're coming from, Milt. The tackling from Hamilton was really good. And I'll tell you what, that young cornerback, Emmanuel Davis, remember Delvin Breaux?
Yes.
He's playing like Delvin Breaux.
And this game was pretty much over at halftime. And the big reason being the guy you just mentioned, Emmanuel Davis and Bakari Grant. Bakari Grant has been a mystery since he started in CFL 2011. He had the big season in 2013, slacked off last year, was a free agent, but now he's coming on. They're going to ask even more of him now that Andy Fantu's it off. But like I said, this game was pretty much over at halftime.
Yeah, Emmanuel Davis, birthday today. The big 2-6 celebrating with 2 pick sixes. Yeah, start to finish. That's the way it went. We got FIBA basketball coming up next. Women's basketball, Canada versus Puerto Rico here on TSN, 1 and 5. The Hamilton Tiger Cats back into a tie with the Argos and the Red Blacks. Tops in the East at 4 and 2 and looking very strong since coming home in this past week with 2 big wins, especially big today. Thanks for watching the CFL on TSN. Have a great night, everybody.